Welcome to the Predicted 11. Welcome everybody to the Predicted 11. Now listen, this is going to be an interesting one after what happened last week at Man United and obviously Havertz on Wednesday. Some players maybe played their way in. Now me and Dan's just been talking off air. All right, welcome Dan.
Big up, bro.
Big up, bro. He reckons that we are going to disagree on only two positions. Right, so I don't know what those two positions are, but we'll find out going into the game against Leeds. I don't care what anybody says. This is a must-win. Arsenal have to win this game by hook or by crook. By hook, do you like that one?
Yeah. We'll come to that.
We'll come to Captain Hook, which is Dan's. Love that one, right? So we're going to look at it. Leeds, I think it's a tough game. I think changes have to be made. I think there's 3 or 4 players that don't deserve to be playing in this team at this moment in time on current form, but obviously they can work their form and get themselves back in. But at this moment in time, I'm going to be a little bit more ruthless than what I would normally be. But we're going to go with it, Dan. Thoughts of the last couple of games?
Disappointing. I mean, obviously Man United was disappointing, right? I think that's clear to say, but I kind of feel like we need to move on from that. I feel like the game against Havertz, there was an opportunity for some of the players to knock on the door. I'm not sure they'll be knocking on it too loudly, if I'm honest, because apart from Kai Havertz and apart from maybe Martinelli in the second half, I think there was a question mark over some of the ones that came in to say, are they actually backups or are they first teamers? And I'm not sure many of them will be bursting through the door. I don't think Arteta it'd be unfair for him to not want to listen to him, because I think he knows now what the kind of 11 will be. Now, there's a couple of positions that I really believe you can roll the dice in, and we'll discuss that, right?
Yeah.
I think you can roll the dice on 2 positions, and whatever it falls on, you go, oh, it's landed on him, cool, he'll play this game. So I don't think there's any player at the moment grabbing the ball by the horns to say, this is my position. But apart from that, I do think the others are pretty much set in stone. But the way that we're performing at the moment isn't great in the final third. And I don't know if that's a system thing, if it's a personnel, if it's both. I feel like we've been speaking about those 2 things for the majority of the season. It might be a weird thing to talk about, League, because we are in a good position, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
8 in 8 is unbelievable in the Champions League. Both competitions we're still in, cup-wise, and then, of course, top of the league. So I don't think we could be moaning too loudly, but I think you can always have concerns about how you can improve better. And I think individually there's some players at the moment that just ain't quite working for me.
So when you look at Havertz and that game on Wednesday, and I've tried to analyse this and all that, do we look at it and go, they're not that great, or they could, like be a, I don't know, where would you put them? They're a Champions League side, so they're going to be difficult or whatever. And also, do you calculate that there was no pressure in that game yesterday as well, right? So they're not very good, no pressure. We created loads of chances, should have scored realistically a lot more goals than what we did. I know when people go, you've got to be ruthless and all that, but in any shape of football, any standard of football, if you get loads and loads of chances, you do miss a few. I know that's it's a silly way of thinking, I think sometimes you go away from home, you might have 2 chances, you score 2 goals. Why can't you do that when you're having 8 or 9? I've said it's a different thing. So do you look at it like that and go, well, I'm not really going to play too much into it because of those 2 factors? Or are you going to say, no, there was an opportunity, Martinelli, Kai Havertz, Norgard, it's another one, they took that opportunity, so they're going to come in the side. Are you thinking, no, it's a game where we've just rested everybody, we reset and we go back to the tried and trusted?
Well, it was a dead rubber, right? And you could look at that in a positive light to say that we've already done our job. It's the last time we could look to experiment, in my opinion, because this is now the best end of the season where we can't really muck around anymore. But you can also look at it in both halves, because the first half of that game, I thought, you know what, we've rotated and this is going to be a comfortable victory. There's a few goals going in already. Kai Havertz looking good, Gyökeres scoring. Going forward, we were looking very good. And in the second half, I've got to be honest, I thought it was the opposite. I don't know what we were doing, really. It was really poor from us. I felt like in the final third, we were just passing it round. It was casual. It was like it was a training game. There were some individual performances where I thought they were just trying a little bit too hard, trying a bit too much they were doing, in my opinion. And I don't think many of them will be knocking on the door to say, yeah, that performance is now why I should be starting. So I think you could look at it in both ways. Definitely it's a dead rubber. Definitely we've done our job already. And I think he's tried to experiment. We needed to make wholesale changes, which he pretty much did, which I thought was the right team to select. And I don't know. I think Mikel Arteta will probably walk away from that thinking, I wish some of them would have done a bit more. I wish Gyökeres would have got a hat-trick to make me think I've got to start him now. I wish that Noni Madueke would say, yeah, Saka hasn't really been at the best this season, but I've got this guy complain now. He's just scored 2 against Kairat, whatever it was. Eze, likewise. A lot of people said, yeah, he played really well last night. I thought he was all right. But I didn't look at him and go, wow, you're definitely not droppable because you've been unbelievable. I haven't done that yet. So that's my disappointment, I suppose. Yeah. But maybe I'm asking for too much, Lee.
No. I really, for me, there's a couple of players I really, really wanted to play well yesterday. Martinelli was one, Eze was the other. And I felt that I wanted Eze to really
control it.
Yeah, just go, wow. And think you've got to play. Forget whether it's who's the opposite, he's got to play. I don't think he'd done enough to do
Martinelli did well, second half.
Yeah, Martinelli done well, and there's a question for it. But I didn't think Eze done enough to out your captain. I know when people say Odegaard, but I'm talking your captain. Like there's two different things. I think he's good enough to out Odegaard, but it's the captain as well. Like it's a lot difficult to do that. Like I don't think he'd done enough. That's my opinion. I think Kai Havertz done enough. I
was impressed with Kai Havertz.
Very impressed with him. Like,
his first half. I understand it's Kairat and understand the kid's got to do better.
But he
can only go on the last performance.
He done well in that. Odegaard come on the second half, didn't do what he'd done.
So that was poor.
And I don't think Eze done what he'd done in the first half. I think I'm looking at it in the first half. I thought, who was the better out of the two? I would say they were sort of similar positions, weren't they? Like left and right or whatever. Slightly more forward, Havertz. And he seemed to be the one that connected a little bit better, So we go for it. It's easy, I think the back four virtually. I think there's one position. The rest.
Well, David Raya in goal.
David Raya in goal. Comes back for this game, no problem. And listen, this is why that was a good game for. He's had the week off. He didn't have to midweek off. That's good. Nice thing for him. I don't know if he was at the game or whatever. Didn't see him there, but wasn't involved. So that was a nice rest for him. Also, the same for Timber. Timber wasn't there yesterday. So do you think that he's back in?
He's coming in, man. Yeah. 100% he plays for me.
Yeah. I don't think he's injured. They said he had a slight little knock. I think the club has to say that. Like Saliba and Tim Rad slightly because we was making so many household changes.
Well, one thing I will say is, just quickly, I thought I was going to enjoy the Ben White Timber thing more than I did. Like the Ben White right back, Timber left back thing.
Didn't work.
I didn't like it, did you?
No, I
did before. I quite liked it last season when we started that way. I think we had games against Villa and City and Spurs at the start of the season, if you remember last season. Yeah. And I thought, this is solid. It didn't work for me. And I think we missed him on the right-hand side.
We missed him on the right and he didn't play well on the left. You know what I mean? So,
I agree.
I thought Ben White played okay yesterday.
Yeah, he's all right.
But I think at the end of the day, Timber will get... somebody said, I think it was Ryan said it yesterday, if you get Havertz in the side and Ben White in the team and all that, would be more dangerous from corners and set pieces and all that. But Timber's nicked a few goals.
He has. He's been great. I think for his height, he does well as well.
Yeah.
He gets a few. Centre back pairing's obvious, is it?
Yeah, I think that's obvious. This put them in there like you've got them up there. I will say, I think a big word for Christian Mosquera. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. Another one that. I think told the manager, I'm ready. If his form dips, which it wasn't great the other day, by the way. If you think you're nailed on, he just give him a little gentle reminder that you've got to be at your best. Otherwise, I'm going to take your place.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that as well, by the way. Yeah. I actually think, other than Zubimendi, who I think has been the signing of the summer for Arsenal, I'm only talking Arsenal players, I think Mosquera's right behind him. I think he's been phenomenal for the price we got him, bro. Yeah. I think he's about 15, 17 million euros or something. This is insane. I mean, he's been very, very good when he's called upon. A few shaky moments, of course, because he's of his age, but he plays beyond his years. I think he's very similar to Saliba in terms of his stature and his composure and his calmness. I don't think he's quite the Saliba level yet, but I mean, he's still young.
Yeah,
very young.
And do you know what impressed me yesterday? was not his defending, it was his on the ball.
I agree. I prefer watching Mosquera. I'm more chilled out with Mosquera than I am with Nkapie. And as much as I like Nkapie, I think more than you do, I do think Mosquera just gives me a little bit more confidence and reassurance on the ball. Yeah. And that's what I think he reminds me of Saliba a little bit more. I think Nkapie is a little bit more rash, he's a little bit more aggressive. I think Mosquera is a bit more calms it down a bit, and I like that about him.
Talking about Nkapie, does he keep his place in at left back?
Not for me. Not for me. I don't think he's in as bad as what you have. I know you don't think he's shocking. I know you've just questioned some of his defensive abilities. I did the other night against Kairat. But I think this guy's got to come back. I genuinely think we've missed him on the left. But I never thought I'd say this, Judge, because last season I was a bit, do you remember? Yeah. I was a bit like, not sure about him. Injury prone, he looks okay. Better going forward than he is defensively. And I think this season he's probably been the most improved Arsenal player. And I think we've actually missed him since he's been out. So I'm going to go with Calafiori.
And I think, if I'll be really honest, all fit, that's our best back five.
Totally agree. So far, we've got our strongest teams out there so far. That's what I think. When everyone's fit. And I think hopefully Calafiori is. I know he got a half against Kairat. I can't give the penalty away, but in general, I do think he's improved. And I
think we've missed him in there. I think the last couple of games. I think also he gives us a lot of height as well. Like, so I think if he's 100% fit, he gets the position there. Like, you know, I think midfield. There's conversations now. There's conversations now. Like,
can I mention Norgard quickly?
Yeah.
Because I thought he was brilliant against Kairat. I've got to be honest. I was very impressed with him, and he's really impressed me in the last few games he's played. I don't think he's done enough to start this game, but I think like Mosquera, he's gently reminded if Zubimendi or Rice ever have an off day, he can slot in. And I think also he's probably running Mikel Arteta that maybe he might have trusted him a bit more. I remember the game against Brentford where he played Rice. We were all like, why are you playing Rice? Then Wolves playing Rice. I think Norgard could have played a couple of those games and give Rice that rest that he might have needed. Now, luckily, Rice Touchwood, he's not got that injury yet. But I think when you look at Norgard coming in, I was a bit surprised and shocked we signed him. I was thinking, what is this all about? I think he's been really good at the last few games, bruv.
Would you play him Tuesday against Chelsea? We've got like a quick cut turnaround.
Yeah, it's a hard one, this one.
We've got this, because like, looking on, that's another thing that I want to just bring into this. You know, we're obviously not going to talk about the Chelsea game. We've got Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. So it's 3 games in 7 days. So there might have to be some rotation somewhere, and I think it's going to have to be at the Chelsea game.
You're right, but I don't want to prioritise either. I can't prioritise one of these games without the other. I kind of feel like we might have to rotate. Is it Sunderland after? I feel like he might have to come in Sunderland, and we might have to, because we've got to win this Leeds game, and we've got to go through to Wembley. So, do we play the strongest 2 sides and rotate in a way that we bring them off at 60 minutes? And try and have a little eye on Sunderland and say maybe we start Sunderland, bring them off then. This is the problem, because I don't think we need to make wholesale changes in either of these games, like the Leeds or Chelsea game. We might have to be clever, and what I mean by that is we might have to take some off of the Leeds game, and then take some off of the Chelsea game. That's what I'm thinking we might have to do.
Would you play that back 5 against Chelsea? Or would you bring in a Mosquera or maybe a Ben White?
Maybe I'd bring in one of them. Maybe I'd go with the 3 of the back 4 there, yeah. Maybe I'd rest one of these guys, but it's hardly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to go to Wembley.
I think maybe Calafiori might be just because he's just coming back.
So maybe Timber and White again?
Maybe, or
Lewis Skilly.
Or Nkapie coming back in there, like, you know, and I think one of them two may be interesting, like, you know what I mean? So who are you going for? Are you going to go? Let's forget about the 10. What you do? Are you going?
I'm going Rice and Zubimendi.
You are.
Are you not? Against
Leeds? I am as well. Okay. I would do. I don't think that Zubimendi. Yes, he was poor. Deserved to come off. I didn't think it was just the way giveaway. I didn't think he'd done himself any favours for the second goal as well. If I'll be honest, like, you know. And I think a little gentle reminder.
He knew as well. Yeah. He knew, didn't he? As soon as he did.
A little gentle reminder that you've got to be. And also, I think that, you know, games away from home have got to be controlling. But it's not often we've said this season that both of them play bad.
I agree. You know, I think they both complement each other.
Yeah.
Similarly to these two, actually, Gabriel and Saliba. I think when you look at one of them playing well, the other one's normally not far behind. And I agree with you, I don't think either of them were at it against Manchester United. And if I'm honest with you, I don't think Arsenal have played well in the Premier League for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for both of these to step up.
Yeah, and I think they've both been rested. it's
no
now,
excuse.
It's no excuse now. Like, you know, I want these two dominating the midfield. Like, you know.
Agreed.
Right. We might have an argument here.
We will have an argument.
We'll have an argument here on this role. And I'm going to put three. I think it's out of 4 players that can play this role. Right.
Fair.
You might laugh at me when I say this. Right.
Probably not, but go on.
But I think that you've obviously the obvious choice is your captain in Odegaard. Right. We've also got Eze that can play in there. Kai Havertz come in there and play. Done very, very well. And I also think Mikel Merino would be another shout that come in there. And I think Mikel Merino is probably a better shout. Not me personally, but what I'm thinking Arteta is that, and I know what everybody's going. Everybody's sort of saying, "Oh, I've got to play Eze, got to play Eze." I don't think Eze done enough to say to me, right, yeah, that's that performance. So I think you're going to go Eze. I don't know this. I think he's going to go Eze. All right. I'm going to go Havertz, right? But I've got a feeling both of us will be wrong.
Okay, so let me tell you what I think. The one who will play, if we're doing a predicted 11 for what Arteta's picking, will be our captain. Odegaard will start this game.
I'm with you.
Okay, so it will be Odegaard. So should we put him in?
We're going to put him in there. So from the top, can come down and have a look at it from the top, right? That is the midfield that we are predicting that Mikel Arteta is going to play, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's what we're predicting, like. Yeah?
Correct.
So that's the one we think is going to happen.
So what I will discuss.
I'm taking Martin out of it now.
Yeah.
And what one do you want, and the reasons why?
So I hear you on Havertz, because I did genuinely think he was good at Kairat. And I will say this quickly on Havertz, right? I think people know where I stand on Kai Havertz. Okay, I think he's a squad player. I don't think he's a starter. But if you're looking at the players' performance individually, right now no one's outshining anyone, in my opinion. And I think going on off of last game, the one who probably deserves a nod there is probably Kai Havertz, because of how well he played and how good we did look creativity-wise. Felt like he was threading the ball through. Felt like he had some vision finally. Felt like he actually looked like on the front foot. He was moving the ball quite quickly.
Every time he got the ball, it was a forward pass.
And I'll be honest with you, mate, I sat in a pub with my dad and I went, "He's playing Havertz in midfield, can you believe it?" And he went, "He's not, is he?" I said, "He is." And I was wrong. He played very well, I thought. But the reason I would pick Eze is because...
So you're going to go Eze?
I would go with Eze.
All right, the reasons why?
Go on. I'll tell you the reasons why. Do I think that he's done enough to get into the first team guaranteed? No. I don't think Odegaard has. So for the reasons I've just given, if you're going off of form, you're probably going to go with Kai Havertz because of the last game. But I don't know how fit Kai Havertz is. Yeah. And I don't know if he is guaranteed to be the 9 or the 10 yet in Arteta's eyes. The reason that I would go with Eze is because for the little that I've seen on everybody in the 10 role, I feel like he probably is the one that has progressed the ball forward more than Martin Odegaard. And I think the kind of evidence of that, should I say, is the goal against Inter Milan, where I don't like the word pre-assist because I think it's ridiculous, but the ball that he's moved forward, the game against Kairat last night for Gyökeres's goal came from Eze to Havertz to Gyökeres, and the goal from Jesus against Inter Milan came from the forward thinking of Eberechi Eze. So as much as I don't think it's like, wow, you can't drop him, he's been unbelievable right now, I do think he's ahead of the pecking order than Odegaard, who I'll just quickly touch on. I think it's bad at the moment. I've got to be honest with you, judges. I think it's bad.
I think he proved that yesterday when he came on as a sub.
Do you know what? He came on against Kairat, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. I think Arteta knows, look, mate, you ain't great at the moment, but I believe in you, so I'm going to go and show that you're good enough, because you're going to do some serious damage to this team. And he didn't do anything.
He didn't do nothing.
He didn't do anything. And he going back to the scoop over the bloody top of the back foot. I'm thinking, what are we seeing from this guy? There's no creativity, there's no spark, there's no drive, there's no creativity, there's no goals, there's no assists. I need to see more from him. You know, I know everyone laughs at me when I call him Captain Hook because he's been hooked.
That's a great thing.
But it's true, right? Yeah. And I know I'm kind of joking there. I don't want him to be Captain Hook, right? And that again, that's probably taken away his form. That's a decision of captain that I don't agree with. Some people do. That's up to their opinion. But for me, when you're taking him off, whether he's the captain or not, it means he ain't playing very well, right? Because if he was playing well, you wouldn't be taking your captain off. You'd be taking Martin Odegaard off. Yeah, oh, why's he taking Martin Ødegaard off? But because he's the captain, we're talking about it more. You see what I'm saying?
100%. And that's what I totally agree
because
with
his performance ain't that great. No. If he was playing well, we'd be going, why are you taking Ødegaard off? He's our captain, he's our leader. Now, we're saying, why are you taking him off? He's our captain because he's not performing well. There's a difference. You see what I mean? So it's on him more than it is Mikel Arteta. But it's on Mikel because he's given him the captaincy and he's taking him off and putting him in the limelight to have that discussion about it. For me, I don't think he's done enough. He will play, but I'd go with Eze just.
I think he will play as well. And Eze, you know, I don't read too much into it, but he took players off. He didn't take him off. You know what I mean? So I think that maybe could he do that? Where is my main man? Where is he like? Could he do that?
Absolutely, he could. Absolutely. But do you feel
or that? You know what I mean? I'm not saying you leave it. You know,
but these two don't always have to play. By the way, Rice and Zubimendi, right? And I've been surprised. Where's Martin Ødegaard for a minute? I've been surprised that we haven't seen this a bit more in the earlier stages of the season. Now, when we did see it, it was West Ham. He got a shoulder injury, so he had to go back for Zubimendi, Eze, like that, wherever Zubimendi is. So I feel now, like, that's what I would go with, but I've got to be real. I think we all agree that it probably is that. But what he could do, I suppose, is use him, now he's back fit, a little bit more in this area. I
think it would. I think there's a possibility he could go there.
Against Leeds or against Chelsea?
Against Leeds.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, or an Eze there.
There he is.
Instead of it, like you could go that, right?
See, I need to say this though. If we are, let's take Eze out. Let's imagine he's looking at these two. I don't like this. You're going to think this is really stupid now, but I don't mind this. Does that make sense, or have I confused you? Because I don't think this guy's an 8. I think he's got to be a 10.
More of the 8,
he's got to be the drop deep line 8. He comes deep and then he threads the ball. He's the guy to get it before the guy. And I think him linking up with our striker would actually be not so bad then. If he's doing this 8 deep roll drop, I just don't like it, Judge. We tried it last year, it didn't work. He was literally going to be here for me or nothing at all. If he is going to come into midfield, like I think Arteta does particularly want him to be there, I think he has to be the 10, not the 8, if we're going to go in this triangle thing. I think it will be Zubimendi and Rice, but
listen. We're going to put it out in here because that's what we've both gone that, but we think that
it will be that. Yeah. Okay.
But we're not happy with that.
Well, play out your skin, and I will be happy with it. These two, not so much. I mean, they've got to turn up, but they have been turning up most of the season. This guy's not. I'm sorry, I don't like to dig him out because I've flipped and I've flopped with this guy.
I'm with you and all that, but he's Mikel's man, and as the song goes, Mikel knows best.
Knows exactly what we need.
So he knows, right. So I think by him not playing any minutes yesterday, I don't think there's an argument. Nonny Madueke, didn't do enough for me to say, right, you're going to should we just leave it at that?
Yeah, I don't want to talk on Nonny. I'm sorry. Last night that was a worry for me. But yeah, Saka comes in. I think he's got a little bit harsh criticism. I don't think it's unfair that people are saying he's not a good season.
He's got to be better than what he has.
He has got to improve. But I do still think I think sometimes we look at Saka and we've been asking him to save us because he's been saving us for the last few years. I might say silly saving because we haven't won anything, but he has been carrying us really in a time where we were 8th and 5th. He was the one going, come on, he's the reason we were actually progressing. Now we're looking at him and thinking it's a typical performance for him to be our star boy, and he hasn't had a good season. But I don't really know many that have in the front line.
But for me now, he's been rested. No more rested, no more. Got to be at the thing.
Agreed.
For me, I'm going to say it now. I think he's done enough to start.
100%.
And look, there's nothing against Trossard. He's been our best player this season, but the last few games has been off of it. And at the end of the day, there's got to be consequences for defeats and not playing well. You know what I mean? We're pushing for him not to be playing. He had a very, very good game at Villa, a very, very good game against Brighton. You can't keep going, he played well 4, 5, 6 games ago. I don't think he's done enough. I thought he come in and done exactly what he had to do. And listen, he's come in, got a hat-trick, been left out. He's come in, had a bad game, taken out straight away. Bounced back again. 6 goals in the Champions League. I know it's a different format and all that, but you can't knock that. For me, I would play him. I don't think he will.
I think he'll start Trossard, but he should play Gabriel Martinelli. He should play him because he's got the hat-trick. He was dropped. He came on and I thought did more and has done more in the last few games I've seen him than Leandro Trossard. But I think it will be Leo. I think it will. And if he does start Leo's got to do better than he has done in the last few, because I don't think he was good against Inter Milan. I don't think he's been good against United. I couldn't believe he stayed on that long actually against Man United. And obviously against Liverpool and Forest as well, Trossard weren't really on form, so I'm surprised.
For me, you know, like consequences, I'd be disappointed if Martinelli's not on that. And if Martinelli is playing, by the way, then by God, you've got to go and produce.
100%. They all have to. They get their chance.
I think we've got to go back to where he was a couple of years ago with him, Martinelli and Bukayo Saka firing.
I agree. I agree, and you know, it counts for everyone. You know, we say we believe this person should play. It doesn't mean they stay in. They've got to perform.
They've got to perform.
If they don't, they've got to come out.
They've got to perform.
And, you know, he's got to be consistent, Mikel Arteta. You know, when we're talking about his form, or we're talking about his form, he's not been on form, and he is still playing every week. But when you look at the likes of Miles Lewis-Skelly, who I thought did quite well, then he's out, and Nketiah comes straight back in. Yeah. So why is Martinelli not coming in when Trossard's not performing? We've got to be consistent, Mikel.
Exactly that, right. And if Trossard is left out tomorrow, on Saturday, right, if he is left out, and Martinelli comes in, I think he's got every right to go into it and go, well, how comes he's playing?
100%.
How comes...
100%.
What's the reason you've dropped me? You ain't been playing well last couple of games. I'm going to sneeze.
No, you're right. And I think when you look at what Ødegaard's been doing and not been doing, I think that Trossard would have the right to go, so you're going to drop me, but you're not dropping you're not dropping Martin Ødegaard. Why is that? Or he might look at another player, perhaps.
Well, no, I don't mean there's any other player to look at.
Well, no, I agree, but
you can turn around. Like if I'm Trossard, I'll say, well, I've been dropped. He can go, well, there comes him. He's had one bad game.
Yeah, facts.
Declan Rice had one bad game. Well,
he's had about 6.
He's had about 3 or 4 now. So I think you've got to be really stuck. So that's why I think he may keep in Trossard.
He will.
Centre forward.
I'll let you go first because I've got a controversial one. So
no, I don't think it's controversial. I know what you're going to go with, but I'm going to go with Gyökeres. Scored against Inter Milan. Was left out for Jesus, who I pushed for. I thought Jesus was awful against Man United, and I don't think deserved after that. I thought he'd come on yesterday and
he was all right.
And that's where maybe his position is, being like that, the back, and can come on and change games for us. You know what I mean? So I felt that he came on yesterday. I think in the first half we looked so much better than in the second half. He took him off with about 20 minutes to go. It was a little telltale sign for me. But I would go with Gyökeres as well. But go on.
So we started the season and it was this. Let's stop here. That's going to be the team. Okay, looking down, that's going to be the team.
That's the team.
That is the team Mikel Arteta is going to pick.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be very surprised if it's not.
Agreed. Right. I started the season and I was all about Gyökeres, weren't I? I wanted to sign in the summer. I was big up for it and I thought, yep, cool. After a few games, I realised perhaps we might need to change with him. And I was calling not long ago for Jesus because I thought we were a little bit more free-flowing, thought he was good against Inter Milan. Lively the other night, but I don't think he was great against Manchester United. And I've got to be honest with you, I think Jesus is Jesus. He's a squad player. He probably will be moved on in the future. And I think that he is Jesus. Great on the ball, but not clinical in my opinion, right? Which leads me to what I would do next, okay? And it's 2 positions. Against Bayern Munich and against Atletico Madrid and against Tottenham, I liked that. Now, this is what I would do, right? We've had this discussion. It's not going to be Ozil, so I'll mention it.
Yeah, that's right. what you think now.
But Mikel Merino, I think the system works best with him. I think he's the best finisher in front of goal. I think he's really good aerially and probably the best that we've got in the air up top as well. And I just felt like the football I enjoyed the most was that period, and I feel like we might be in a position with the pressure on to go back to that and revert back to it. Now, he's not going to, but this is my predicted 11. You're going to change yours, I guess. Yeah. I personally would do that. Now, Kai Havertz is definitely a player I would bring on in this game. I'm just not sure how fit he is, Lee. So I can't say play him.
I get that.
So otherwise, I might have a bit of a discussion about whether Kai could get into this first 11. But that's the 11 I would go. That's the 11 I would go with. right? Looking down, that is the 11 that I would go with. But it won't be, right? We know what the 11 will be, and it will be that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going.
I don't know what your thoughts are, Mikel Merino.
Before we leave it, I'm going to go with that. Listen, I think Mikel Merino's done very, very well for us, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Okay.
To be honest, I think that he's done very, very well, and as you know, our best performance this season, under a little bit of pressure, was against Aston Villa, and he played there.
Very true, actually. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like without Declan Rice, but you ain't leaving Declan Rice out,
no,
you know what I mean? So I think you've got to try and get him in there. If you're going to get him in there, that's the position that I would.
Fact.
I'd actually say at this moment in time he's second choice, because I would put him in front of Jesus after that poor performance against Man United.
He surprised me, Merino, this signing. When we signed him, I thought he's a £30 million player. He's going to be a squad player.
But he's done well for us.
I think he's done really well. Like, I think he's actually a player that we look at now, and it makes a hell of a lot of sense. I don't think it did at the time. I felt like he was a player that we needed to get better at, but that's where I'm at. That's what you're doing.
That would be my team. I'll take the gamble.
Okay. I liked the link up with these two.
Yeah.
And I think
like that.
I laughed about it when one of my mates spoke about it. But maybe in and out of possession, you might even see a little bit of that. 4-4-2. I don't know if I like that, if I'm honest, or the sound of that. But there's an option to do it in and out of possession, whether it gets to 60 sort of minutes.
Yeah,
perhaps I don't know.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Doing that.
That's what I should have done.
That would
that's
be
what
good.
I should have done. But yeah, I don't know.
So
if that works,
you might be right with Kai. Might be like an impact sub for the next couple of games.
I think he needs to be more of a squad player.
Really interesting when we play Wigan, where he plays him. Does he play him up front or does he play him in midfield?
It's a great shout. I think it'll all depend on the form of him and the confidence of him. Because I think the only reason he started him against Kairat is because he needs goals and he needs confidence. And I think it might be the same in a few weeks against Wigan if he don't pick up his form. So, yeah, man, he's going to be he's come at a good time, Kai Havertz. Come back at a very interesting time.
The other thing is, Dan, looking at that, we can be a little bit more flexible with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little bit more flexible. They've got like legs in there. You know what I mean? Maybe even Merino comes in there. Like
we've got options, man.
We've got options.
But I've got to be honest. If you would have told me at the start of the season we were playing 4-4-2 with these two, I probably would have headbutted someone. Look, we're here now, so let's see what we're going to do. Man.
We know that Mikel won't do that. It's more of a control game and all that. Listen, guys, we come to the end of the show. Let us know what you want to do. What there's a couple of positions up for grabs, really. Like we don't, the whole team. If you want to put the whole team down, be free and put the whole team down. But I think the left back is a debate. Certainly, the forward-thinking midfield player, the playmaker. Who would you go for? And who's your man up front? We keep saying it week in, week out. Who is your man up front? But somewhere along the line, we've got to make a choice, and we've got to stick with it. One other thing I want you to do today, put your prediction in, what you think the score is going to be. I'm going 1-0 to the Arsenal in a scrappy game. Dan, what are you going for?
Same as me, 1-0. I actually think it'll be set piece again at later leg. Gabriel, 1-0. Let's see what happens.
I wouldn't be surprised if we draw this game, which would be not the best thing for us. But listen, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and do all the business. And we'll see you next time.